Brothers and sisters, welcome back to The Last Dispensation. I'm your host, Troy Abels. You're living in it. The Last Dispensation, that is. The moon, blood red. Stars falling from the heavens. The LDS Church has no patent on the doctrine of the last days. And regardless of who you are and what belief system you subscribe to, it will affect everyone alive and in the world of spirits. It will be a day of fear and dread for the wicked, and relief and joyous anticipation for the righteous. But it will impact all who live and ever have lived upon the earth. Let's begin with Doctrine and Covenants, section 29, verses 10 through 17. For the hour is nigh, and that which was spoken by mine apostles must be fulfilled. For as they spoke, so shall it come to pass. For I will reveal myself from heaven with power and great glory, with all the hosts thereof, and dwell in righteousness with men on earth 1,000 years, and the wicked shall not stand. And again, verily, verily, I say unto you, and it hath gone forth in a firm decree by the will of the Father, that mine apostles, the 12, which were with me in my ministry at Jerusalem, shall stand at my right hand at the day of my coming in a pillar of fire, being clothed with robes of righteousness, with crowns upon their heads, in glory even as I am, to judge the whole house of Israel, even as many as have loved me and kept my commandments, and none else. For a trump shall sound both long and loud, even as upon Mount Sinai, and all the earth shall quake, and they shall come forth, yea, even the dead which died in me, to receive a crown of righteousness, and to be clothed upon, even as I am, to be with me, that we may be one. But behold, I say unto you, that before this great day shall come, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall be turned into blood, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and there shall be greater signs in heaven above and in the earth beneath. And there shall be weeping and wailing among the hosts of men, and there shall be a great hailstorm sent forth to destroy the crops of the earth. And it shall come to pass, because of the wickedness of the world, that I will take vengeance upon the wicked, for they will not repent. For the cup of mine indignation is full. For behold, my blood shall not cleanse them, if they hear me not. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord. Joel chapter 2, verse 31. And the sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and notable day of the Lord. That's in Acts chapter 2, verse 20. Here are some scriptures and quotes found on the last days. This is found in Joel chapter 2, verses 28 through 32. And it shall come to pass afterward, that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions, and also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. And I will shew wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and the terrible day of the Lord come. But behold, I say unto you that therefore, this is in Doctrine and Covenants, section 34, verse 9. But behold, I say unto you that before this great day shall come, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall be turned into blood, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and there shall be greater signs in heaven above and in the earth beneath. This is section 45, verse 42. But before that great day shall come, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon turn into blood, and the stars shall refuse their shining, and some shall fall. and great destructions await the wicked. This is section 88, verse 87. And before the day of the Lord shall come, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon be turned into blood, and the stars fall from heaven. For not many days hence, and the earth shall tremble and reel to and fro as a drunken man, and the sun shall hide his face, and shall refuse to give light, and the moon shall be bathed in blood, and the stars shall become exceedingly angry, and shall cast themselves down as a fig that falleth from off a fig tree. Zobel Jr. Albert L., 1971, a modern prophet at 95. This is a excerpt from the conference report, Gordon B. Hinckley, October 2001. The words of the prophets are rapidly being fulfilled, but it is done on such natural principles that most of us fail to see it. Wonders in heaven and in the earth should be seen, and there should be fire, blood, and pillars of smoke. Eventually the sun is to be turned into darkness, and the moon is blood. And then shall come the great and dreadful day of the Lord. Some of these signs have been given, some are yet to come. The sun has not yet been darkened. We are informed that this will be one of the last acts, just preceding the coming of the Lord. One wonders if we are not now seeing some of the signs in heaven. The era in which we live is the fullness of time spoken of in the Scriptures, when God has brought together all of the elements of previous dispensations. From the day that he and his beloved Son manifested themselves to the boy Joseph, there has been a tremendous cascade of enlightenment poured out upon the world. The hearts of men have turned to their fathers in fulfillment of the words of Malachi. The vision of Joel has been fulfilled, wherein the Lord declared, "And it shall come to pass afterward, that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions, and also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. And I will shew wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, and as the Lord hath said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call." Joel chapter 2, verses 28 through 32. Here are some excerpts from LDS Living by Richard L. Judd, excerpted from Prophetic Events of the Last Days, July 26, 2018. President Henry B. Eyring shared insights about the last days and some very faith-promoting stories about some of these disasters as he spoke to students in a devotional at BYU. He said that the giant earthquake and the tsunamis it sent crashing into the coasts around the Indian Ocean is just the beginning and part of what is to come, terrible as it was. He then quoted some of the same scriptures to which we have been referring. See D&C 88 through 91, and said, "Fear shall come upon all people, but you and I know the Lord has prepared places of safety to which he is eager to guide us." I think of that often. A few days ago, I heard two accounts of God leading his children to safety on the coast of Thailand when that monstrous tsunami wave struck. One was of people who accepted his apparently routine invitation to a church meeting on a Sunday. This meeting was on higher ground, away from the coast. The people who gathered with the saints were spared from physical death. I appreciate the insights Elder Bruce R. McConkie gave concerning the sun, moon, and stars, and the heavens being shaken. There may be more than one occasion when the light of the sun and the moon shall be withheld from men, and when it will seem as though the very stars in the firmament are being hurled from their places. What is here recited could mean that the light of the sun is blotted out by smoke and weather conditions, which would also make the moon appear as blood. This falling of the stars unto the earth could be meteoric showers, as distinguished from the stars on another occasion, appearing to fall because the earth itself reels to and fro. The Millennial Messiah, page 380. Elder McConkie also gave this understanding. Knowing that the earth is to reel to and fro, knowing that the mighty deep shall return to its place in the north, knowing the continents and the islands shall join together again, what about the stars and their fall from heaven? Our answer is that it will seem to men on earth as though the stars, those great suns in the sidereal heavens around which other planets revolve, are falling because the earth reels. The great fixed stars will continue in their assigned orbits and spheres. The sun also will continue to give light, but it will appear to men to be darkened, and the moon will remain as she has since the creation, but it will seem to mortal eyes as though she is bathed in blood. The Millennial Messiah, page 412. Some people seem to believe that the calamities prophesied about in the Scriptures will not really happen. President Ezra Taft Benson gave this warning. Too often we bask in our comfortable complacency and rationalize that the ravages of war, economic disaster, famine, and earthquake cannot happen here. Those who believe this are either not acquainted with the revelations of the Lord, or they do not believe them. Those who smugly think these calamities will not happen, that they somehow will be set aside because of the righteousness of the saints, are deceived and will rue the day they harbored such a delusion. That's from Prepare for the Days of Tribulation, Ensign, November 1980, page 32. Elder McConkie summarized various last-day calamities that will happen before the second coming in this way. Before the Lord comes, the whole earth will be in turmoil. Wars and rumors of wars will spread death and destruction and disease that will dwarf anything ever known among men. Plagues and pestilence and pain will punish the people to a degree never before known. Men will be cursed physically and spiritually. The flesh of many will fall from their bones and eyes from their sockets. Earthquakes will destroy many cities and bring death to their municipals. Fire and hail will destroy the crops of the earth. Rivers and seas and deserts and mountains will be contaminated. The waters of the world will be polluted. Famines and poisons and dead bodies will be commonplace. No tongue can tell the desolations and sorrows that are yet to be, all of which will be climaxed by the burning of the vineyard, at which time every corruptible thing will be consumed. That is from A New Witness for the Articles of Faith, page 633. And that is it.
The views and opinions shared by the Last Dispensation and/or any guest should not be construed as authoritative views from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. If you would like to learn more about the LDS Church, please go online to comeuntoChrist.org. The Book of Mormon is also available wherever you get your apps.